Hello, Jarrett Lau here with Profitable Properties Boston. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the ownership responsibilities of an investment property. What do I mean by that? So, tons of investment property owners will manage the property themselves, and that's fine. I actually own a brokerage management company as well. It's called Green Ocean Property Management, where we help buyers then manage their property after the site. But we work with tons of investors that decide to do it themselves. But before you do, I want to make sure that you understand the nuances and the importance of being able to be a good landlord and manager of a property. So first and foremost, you're gonna need time, right? It is not a set it and forget it type of thing. A landlord is an active role. And what I mean by that is that you're gonna wanna get to know the property itself. You're gonna wanna know the type of maintenance that's gonna be needed, right? And we're gonna walk through with you as a real estate agent to be able to tell you the things that may or may not come up, right? Are there gutters, there's maintenance. We have these maintenance plans that we can tell you more or less if you check it off at certain times of the year and you do these things, you're gonna be all set. And that comes from everything from like gutter cleanings to power washing to HVAC maintenance, right? All these things that can help you avoid issues to begin with in the first place. In addition, you're gonna wanna know the market. Right? So we always say that there's three major buckets of property management, and that's going to be the financial aspect of it, the leasing aspect of it, and the maintenance aspect of it, right? And the leasing also includes things like documentation and regulations and things of that nature, the processes of it. So let's jump right into it. Number one, the finances of it. You got to know your numbers. You should put together a budget. And as a real estate agent that specializes in investment properties, I'll help you do that. And what I mean by that is we put together a pro forma. And a pro forma is just a basic spreadsheet that gives you worst case scenarios and good case scenarios of income, as well as your expenses and what that number might be like. There's too many new investors out there that just say, well, here's the rent. This is what the mortgage is gonna be. This is my taxes and my insurance, and that's all. It's not the way you should do it. You have to build in other contingencies such as maintenance. Some of my older properties, you might put in 8% of your income as your maintenance, right? You can have vacancy built in. Yeah, even in Boston, where we have zero vacancy across hundreds of units, you have to build it in worst case scenario, right? All these type of things that you have to think about, like capital improvements that you have to save for, right? Roofs, boilers, hot water tanks, these things come up eventually and they're big hits to your wallet. But if you build it into your budget and reallocate 2.5%, for example, it won't burn you because you've actually planned for it, all right? So know your financials. When I talk about financials, you also want to know everything that comes down to handling the security deposits, last month's rent, the rent. You want to make it easy for tenants to be able to pay their rent quickly, right? There's too many landlords out here that says, oh, the tenant forgot to put the check in the mail. Can't have that. We do all our checks electronically, and a landlord could do that as well, right? They can deposit it, Venmo, whatever it is. But if you want to do it right, you have to make sure that you have separate accounts for this stuff, that you have those accounts reconciled, that you know every single dollar that you are both getting in as well as spending, right? And at the end of the year, when you give it to your bookkeeper, your CPA, these numbers are clean and that they can use these and figure out the correct write-offs for it, right? The last thing you want to do is to be able to not have your tax returns done correctly, and it can hurt you in the long term with it. In addition, when you handle things like last month's rent and security deposits for tenants, that's the number one thing that people get sued for. You never want to be able to have that happen. And what I mean by that is that they handle security deposits and last month's rent incorrectly. They don't put them in interest-bearing escrow accounts. They don't put it under the tenant's social security number. They don't pay the interest of this type of stuff. They don't provide the address of the bank in which they give it within 30 days. There's all these things that you need to be aware of. And again, as a real estate agent and a property manager, we're gonna be able to guide you on that even if we don't manage your property. My job is to be able to make sure that you're profitable and you stay that way. Right? So in addition to the finances of it, you're going to want to know your rents, right? Every single year, right? You want to be able to bump up those rents, minimize those expenses, right? Have that bottom line, keep increasing, right? Have the equity of the house, have that long-term plan of when you'll refinance, purchase another one, right? What's that value that you get out of your real estate agent? Will they be able to help guide you through the rents, help you figure out the best ways to minimize all your liabilities and expenses? Well, we can help you out with that, and we will as a real estate agent. In addition, on the financial aspect of it, you're just gonna wanna make sure that you have everything in one place, easy to see, be able to reference back with it. So, getting on the next aspect of it, the maintenance. Maintenance is a huge thing. Too many landlords put their guards down when they buy a nice property and they don't maintain it, they don't take care of it. And that's from anything from filters to gutters to drains, to sidewalks, to handrails. There's just a ton of things that you have to be aware of. And we actually provide you a checklist of things that you can look at and be aware of and when it should be. We're gonna help you guide through that process. And we might not be able to help facilitate it if we're not managing it, but we're able to at least put you in touch with the people that can help you do it. Next is gonna be that documentation and that leasing. We're gonna help you figure out when you should get that property on the market, how much more rent you can get for it. Might be able to provide you some boilerplate templates on renewals and leases and things of that nature. Huge value outside of the typical real estate agent that just wants to help you close that investment property, and then it's your problem to deal with. Again, our goal is to be able to help you continue building your portfolio, being profitable, and leasing is a huge part of it. But in addition to it, it's compliance with the city. The city of Boston has rules and regulations that they ask you to do a rental registration, inspect the property. You have to get your fire escapes inspected every 5 years, right? All these type of nuances, if you have sprinklers, fire extinguishers, right? All these things that you have to be aware of, smoke detectors, testing. These are the things that we want to make sure you're in compliance with. Lead safety, I'm actually a full RISD letter, one of very few in the state. These are the things that I want to guide you on to avoid any type of issues and liabilities in the future. So if you or anyone else you know is looking for a real estate brokerage house to be able to go above and beyond, help you through everything that you as a landlord will be doing as a property manager or landlord of an investment property, please think of Profitable Properties Boston.